Alright guys, so in the previous chapter we learned about the near side hip grip when we were attacking a leg drag. Now what we're going to learn about is the far side hip grip. And what you're going to see is this hip grip has a lot more advantages in some different ways than the other hip grip. And what we're going to learn about now is I'm going to discuss something about her hips. Again, this all has to do with the person's hips and their spine when we're doing these positions. So lay down. So before we learned, when we bring our hips this way, I'm able to bring her knee down. But a lot of times when I'm trying to bring her hips this way, she's going to fight me, keeping her hips this way, you see. And it's going to be hard for me to move her hips this way. But the rule is, every time I try to bring her hips this way and she fights me, I can bring her hips the other way. So I'm going to talk to you about Toreando, for example. I could be passing Toreando, and I could be going to pass this side. You see, I could bring her hips. When I go to Toreando and she defends, bring her hips this way, all I do is I go the other way. So now, what's happening? We're basically learning now what to do when we cannot bring her hips to this side and remove her knee from her chest. This is going to start many different variations and positions, you see. But basically, the concept is this. We try to go here, so then we can do this. When I try to do this, she's going to stop me. She's going to be too strong that I cannot bring her the other way. So all I'm going to do is simply when I push her this way, she stops me, I go with her this way. And it's going to feel very easy to bring her hip the other way. And that is what's going to be in this section. And basically, the way that we're going to accomplish this is it's going to be, instead of our near side hip grip, the far hip grip is going to be able to help me bring her hip this way. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to see when I do the far hip grip. Again, I explained, it's when I'm going to drag your legs, she brings her knees to her chest, so I bring her hips other way. So now this is going to enable me to feed this grip. So I'm going to be here. I'm going to get the grip here. I drag. I end up here. I get the hand under. I go under here. So I'm going to leg drag here, and I start bringing her knees this way. She brings her knees to her chest and goes here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go on my back leg. My side foot is going to be live. I'm going to move my hand to this hip, like so. Now I'm able to have the far hip grip. Okay, so the sheep side. So I'm here. I get the grip here. I go here. I go under. I start trying to drag. She brings her knees to her chest and opens this way. You see? Once I try to drag here and I feel like I can't, I'm going to let her hip open. I'm going to use my leg drag hook to bring her knees this way at the same time. Using this hook, now I can bring my hand to her back hip. Once I have my hand on the back hip, now all my attacks can start here. Okay? So, again, other side. So you see, I simply just go with her hips and then I feed the grip. The leg drag, now she comes up, I step on the floor, I grab the far hip here. Now I end up here. But my knee is on the floor, I'm trying to drag, I feel like she can't, I just redirect her with my hook and my elbow. So my elbow pushes her foot down, my elbow and my butterfly, my leg drag hook. My leg drag hook, my elbow, push her legs down, now I can grab the far hip here. This side. So I go with her body. I try to drag her body, she defends. I open. Now I'm stepping on the floor. Look how when I'm stepping on the floor, my knee is on the floor, my toes. Now I can grab the far hip. And now I'm in this spot here. One more time, the other side. Alright guys, so now what we're going to get into is a lot of fun now, and we're going to learn how to take the back now from these leg drag positions. Again, I explained in the beginning of this series, every time my opponent's knees are on their chest, we can expose the back. Every time their knees leave their chest, we can expose a pass. So now we tried taking their knees off their chest. We tried bringing her this direction. She altered her hips. I went with it. I brought her the other way. Now her knees are on her chest. So now I'm going to expose the twister her. Okay? So we're going to be here. I'm going to get under her. I'm going to get the leg jerk. I'm going to be here. I'm going to have the near side hip grip. I'm going to be dragging her leg. She's going to bring her knees up. So I'm going to go with her, step on the floor. I'm going to get my grip here. So now what I'm going to do is, notice, this hip is free. And because I have this hip grip, I'm able to move my body this way on her. And look what I'm going to do. I'm going to connect my legs now to this part of her body, like so. I'm going to bring my palms to my chest, like so. I'm going to bring my leg up her body. And now I'm going to fall, locking a twister her. Stretching her body, and now I'm going to take her back. I'm going to change sides. I just want to show you guys one time fast, and I'm going to explain what I'm doing. So, please, if you don't understand Twister, please watch the first series on Twister. I explain everything about Twister there. Okay, that's why I'm going into the more advanced stuff, and I'm not going to go back to the exact explanation of the mechanisms of Twister. But in my first part of the series, I explain everything about Twister. Okay, so when we're here, and I go leg drag, I start dragging her leg. She brings her knees to her chest. I go this way. I get the far hip grip. I bring her here. So what I'm going to do is I bring my leg up, and I'm going to hook her body like this. So now her hip is open. Now something I cannot do. I cannot bring my knee above her body like this because she could take my back now with a possible back take here. Okay? So my knee line has to stay below her knee line at all times when I'm here. You see how my knee stays below her knee line? Now look what I'm going to do. I'm going to connect my palm to my chest. I'm going to keep my hand on her leg. I'm going to bring my knee up like this. I'm going to pull her down. And now I'm going to lock the twister up here. And I'm going to take the back. Inside. The leg drag. I try to drag. She brings her knees here. I walk. With this far hip grip, I'm able to walk my body this way. Now I can bring my leg up. And when I bring my leg up, I'm hooking her body more. Just so I can move my body more. Now I can put my palm to my chest. I can go here. I can draw my hip, locking the twister up here. Once I get her hip on top of me, like this, with her butt and hip on top of me, I could do the twister. So all I need to do is focus on that here. When I'm here, getting her hip on top of me, now I can lock the twister. So if her hip is not on top of me, it'll be a lot more difficult for me to lock the twister, you see. But once I bring my hip under her, and now her hip on top of me, I can lock the twister really easy and go for the back. Again. Look, so when I'm here, look how I can bring her hip above me by connecting my chest to my body. Now once I do that, I can fall down. And how her hip is on top of me now, look. Now my knee is already below her. So the twister is really easy to do from here. Okay guys, so now what we're going to get into now is more details into this twister hook when I'm doing the leg drag. I showed you a basic version of it. Now I'm going to show you a more complex version and adjusting your grips to make it super tight and making it where the person can't get out. I used this variation when I fought in Pan Am's Roosterweight Finals against Lucas Pinheiro. I was able to take his back off of the leg drag twister just like this. So, I'm going to be here. I'm going to get the leg drag here. I'm going to drag her leg. I'm going to go here. I try to bring her by this way. She defends. I go with her hips. I walk my body. I go here. So, when I get here, what I want to explain to you now is another detail. So, a lot of times when I'm here, how I was saying, oh, just go twist her. It's going to be hard because her hips are this way, right? For me to get her hips under me, I have to bring her hip down. But how am I going to do this? What I'm going to do is, all I'm going to do is, with this foot, I'm going to bring my knee higher up. I'm going to place my foot on my knee, like so. I'm going to punch up to connect my palm to my chest. I'm going to bring my foot on top of my knee, and now look at this. Look how her body falls right into my lap once I connect my foot on top of my knee. It hammers down, bringing her hip on top of me. So look how much more her body is on top of me now. It makes her in the perfect spot now for me to feed the twister hook into the back. So I'll be here. I'm going to go leg drag. I'm going to go under. I'm going to drag. I can't go this way. I put my foot up. I bring the palm to my chest, lifting her. I try to get my head lower down, and I bring my palm to my chest so I have support for my wrist. I bring my knee in. I bring my foot to my knee. I'll put pressure forward. Then I drop. And look how her body falls right onto my lap because my foot is on top of my knee. When it's like this, I don't have any pressure. Keep your body this way now and stay heavy. Like, stay on this side. Yeah. So I try to pull her down, but keep your body this way. So when I try to pull you down, just stay there. Okay. So I try to pull her down. I can't pull her down. But look. Now look at this. Look how she falls instantly. The second I use my foot. Okay. So I use my hook on her ribs to move my body. I bring my knee in. Now I'm going to place my foot right on my knee here. Once I do this, it's very easy for me to pull her hips down now. And now I can take her back. Just going to do on this side. Here. I go leg drag. She opens her knees. I go here. I get my palm. I go here. I connect my fist to my hip like so. I bring my foot under my knee, and now I pull her on top of me. Here. You see how strong it is once I connect my foot like this? No matter how strong she tries to stay, here, it's very difficult for her to stay down once I do this motion. You see? And once I bring my foot up like this, I'm able to attack this part of her foot, bending it, shutting off the muscles in her leg even more. Now look. Now she falls. And now I can lock the twister up here. Step on the floor. I can take the So I scoop up, I get my elbow up, and I bring my palm to my chest, and I get my elbow behind her back. Once my elbow is behind her back, I can bring my knee in, my foot onto my leg. Now she falls perfectly into my lap. I can take it back. So here, I start here. I scoop, I get my elbow under her body. Look how my elbow is going under her body like this. Now I'm able to get her body on top of me once I do that. So when I put my foot down, her body comes right into my lap. And look how my fist is on my chest, her hips on top of me, in the perfect spot for me to attack the twister. So I'm here, I put my foot on her body. Look how this foot helps me balance my body. It's like if I was in berimbau like this. You see, but my knee is here. Now all I'm going to do is put my elbow under her body here. You see? Once I put my elbow under her body, my foot goes on my leg. Now her hip comes on top of me. Her palm is sitting on my lap. My palm is sitting on my lap, on my body. Her hips are on top of me. Now I can do the twister. Okay guys, so like you know how everything we've been doing, we build on it, chaining everything together. So I showed you first a basic way to do twister. I showed you a variation when the leg is heavy. Now I'm going to show you a variation to when the leg is even heavier and what to do. And again, it's going to be altering the spine and the hips, just like we've been doing. Every concept we do in the leg drag, the crab ride, all these positions is basically knees to chest. We bring them one way, we go to other. If we're able to, we remove the knees from chest. If we can't, we take the back like that. Okay, so it's going to be all chaining together. So now we're going to go into the spot again. I'm going to go to the leg drag here. I'm in this spot. I get to the grip here. I pull myself in. I go under here. I start going for the leg drag. I bring her hips this way. She brings her hips the other way. I step on the floor. I step on the floor. I go to the far hip grip now. I place my foot on her ribs, like so. Now when I'm here, both of her elbows are going to be on the floor. I'm going to feel it's hard to bring her hip down like this.
And why is it hard for me to bring her hip down like this? Because her knee is no longer connected to her chest. She's making her leg heavy here. So all I need to do is, because she's not making her knee strong to her chest, I'm going to move her knee away from her chest. When I do this, notice how her body is going to fall again. And I'm going to be able to take her back. Upside. Here. Get here. I go down here. I go for the leg drag. I bring her body up. I step on the floor. I connect my foot to her ribs. I punch up. I get my elbow to her body. I can't bring her down now. She's too strong. All I'm going to do is, what's stopping me from bringing her down? This leg. So all I'm going to do is pull her leg this way. You see how easy it is for me to pull her leg this way? Because her spine is altered right now. So her connection of her knee to her chest is weak. So all I do is that when I pull this up, now she doesn't have the strength to stay down anymore. So I can pull her down, just like before. Her hips onto my chest. Now I can lock the twister. Here, I get the grip. Hand on chest. I step on the floor. I drag the leg. I go here. I start going leg drag. She moves the leg away. I step on the floor. I step on the floor. I get the far hip. I put my foot on her body. I get my elbow under her. I start going here. I can't move her. I pull her leg up in the same line as her knee. Her knee is bent. I just pull it up. I keep my grip the same. I just pull it up. Once I pull it up, look how all her weight falls again, just like before. And I can scoop her under me, and I can take it back. So I can't move it. I pull her leg up. Once I pull her leg up, look how she falls. Now I can take her back. So I'm trying to go here. I can't. I pull her leg up. Once I pull her leg up, I connect my foot again. Now I drop. And look how her body goes right on top of me. Again, this way. Okay guys, so now what I'm going to explain is how we can use this twister hook as a bait to get back to the leg drag, okay? Like I said before, every time you go for this leg positioning, the person defends using their arm. But a certain arm that they use triggers the leg drag. So you're going to see now when I'm doing this position, how we can alter their hips to a leg drag once they defend this position. So we're going to be here. I'm going to be going for the leg drag here. Foot up, grab, pull myself in, pull the hip to me, I go down. I start going for the leg drag, she brings her hips this way. I walk my body, I get my foot up here, I start going for the leg drag here. But what she's going to do is she's going to peel my foot off. Okay, she's peeling my foot off. That means I can go back to the leg drag, because her hip has to come back to this way. Okay, so when I start going to the twister here, she starts peeling, now I can leg drag her here. Connecting my ASIS to her leg, grabbing the collar, now I come back up into the leg drag spot here. Okay, so I'm under, I move my body, I start going here, she peels, now I drag her hip here. Once I drag, I connect my head to her ribs. I grab the collar, I close my elbow, now I can come up, control the hip, and pass. Two sides.
here. I start going for the leg jack here. I alter her hips, I go here. So I want to go twist her, but notice when she's using this arm, how her hips are going to drop. Once her hips drops, look what side her hips are on again. They're back to this side. And because I have the far hip grip, it's acting like the hugging hip that I had before where I'm able to do this to her hips. So when I bring her back, now I'm back in this spot. So I have the twister hook, she peels, I can jack.
I have a question.
Yes.
When I peel it off and you put your leg back, do you hook the arm or it doesn't matter what you do?
So when you go here, I don't hook your arm.
Oh, you don't hook
I just use your momentum to drop your leg.
Okay.
To remove your knee from your chest. Now I can grab again and come back up here.
Okay.
So I'm here. I go leg jack. You move your hips. I go to the side. I get the far hip grip. I start going here. She peels. Now I jack her hip. I got the collar. Pull under. I come up the path. Side. I put leg jack here. I start trying to leg jack. Her hip comes up. I lock my body. I start wanting to go twist her. She peels. Now I can jack her hip. Close your elbow. So then my head now my head goes on her elbow like so. And then I come up. And I close her elbow. And I come. Next time.
So this is like leg drag to twist her up to leg drag.
Yeah, back in the floor. Okay guys, so since we just connected the leg jog and the twist work together, I'm going to show you another variation of a way I can take the back. Rafael Mendez actually used this variation against Cobrinha in 2015 Worlds, and you're going to see why we could do this variation from this position. So it's going to be based off of the last series I taught about berimbolo. And remember I said how angle of the body is everything, right? So when I end up in a certain angle, ladder bolo and double leg bolo are accessible, right? Like in the other DVD that I showed you guys, like you saw, like once her hips were in this angle. Now, I'm going to be in this twister hook spot again, and I'm going to be stuck in this spot, but you're going to realize that it's the same exact angle as the double leg ladder bolo angle that we did in the previous step when we were in regular berimbolo. But now we're in the leg jog, so the leg position is just a little different, but if you notice, her hips are going to be identical to the same angle as the other series, okay? So let's start. I'm going to be here. I'm going to set up the leg jog, put on my chest, get the grip, lift up. I'm going to go to the leg jog here. She's going to open her hip. I'm going to go like I wanted to before to the twister hook, but I'm going to feel that her leg, it's hard for me to do. But look at the angle I'm in. Because I'm in this angle and her body is not on top of me, look what I'm going to do. Her leg is on the floor. I'm going to lift up her leg just a little bit. That's all I need to do here is just get her leg off the floor just a little bit. Now, because I have this far hip grip, I'm going to take my hook that's behind her leg. I'm going to take it out, and I'm going to put it on top of her knee like so. Now I'm going to lock my feet, and now I'm back in double leg bolo. And how am I going to bring her up here? I'm going to use my knee that was on top of her hip like this to bring her hips up and fall down here. Now, once I get here, I have many ways to finish. I could climb. If her arm starts coming in, I could block this arm. I could grab the back of the head here. I could grab both grips here and grab the back of the head here. I could switch to twister hook here. Many different climbing things we could do. Many different feeds we could do. So I don't want you to focus on that. I just want you to focus on this setup right now. Getting the legs here, and then you could choose how to finish here however you prefer. I have so many different options I could do. As long as I keep her hips in this line and bring her body up, it's no problem how I finish. Now I can throw my hooks in. Again. But again, you see how from the last DVD, how everything's combining together. It's the same exact angle as before, you know. And now we're using it in this spot. And that's why I wanted to show you berimbolo how I did in the first series. So then now when you're doing these moves, you'll just connect it all together. Like, wow, it's the same spot, you know. So here, I go leg drag. She's going here. She opens the hip. So I want to go twist her. I feel her legs heavy. All I need to do now is just take her knee. All I need to do is this back leg here. I just have to take it off the floor just a little bit. Now I can take my leg out and put it on top of her legs. Locking my feet.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is there any certain way to lock your feet? Like, let's say the feet were locked this way. Does it matter, or is it just personal preference?
I prefer right now like this. I can switch to this and go to like a twister hook spot here if my legs are longer. I could go like here almost, like this. But I prefer to lock my legs where I can just keep my hips closed.
Okay.
So that's the most important thing that matters here is just pinching your legs. And if I lock it this way, I feel like you're push my knee and take your knee out.
Oh.
So I can lock like this if I have a twister. But I feel like if I lock like this, now push my knee, take your knee out, I feel like it's tighter, right?
So you want the leg that's on the floor?
If I can't get a twister hook with my legs here, I feel like this is the better way to lock.
Okay.
And now I can bring her body up, get the back of the head, and throw my hooks in. Yeah. I'm here. I want to go twister hook. I feel like I can. So all I'm going to do is, I'm going to be like, okay, I feel like her leg is heavy. I'm going to just focus on this leg. I'm just going to lift it off the floor just a little bit. Now I have a gap here. So that when I have a gap, it's easy for me. And if I need to, I can take my hand and go to the lower part of her leg just to help me take my leg out. Now I lock the gap of my knee on her leg, like so. I lock my feet, and now I fall my hips. Look how her hip falls now. I could go to the back of the head with this arm. I go to the back of the head with this arm. I could go anywhere I want here. I could cup the hip, grab the collar, and throw my hook in. Any of the climbing family grips are accessible there, so it doesn't matter. Just the leg positioning is the important part. Here. So look, if her leg is heavy, I can't lift it here, right? So I have to go to her knee. Look how I walk below her knee. Now I took her knee off the floor. You see, now I can go back to here. Put this part of my leg on top of her legs. Now I can bring her body up. Look how I walk. I walk. And now look how so keep your leg heavy. Look how I walk below her knee. She can't keep her leg heavy when I walk with my hands like this. Now I'm here. Now I can connect my leg here. Now I'm in this spot. Any climbing grip I want. Cupping the hip, collar,